Assalamu alaikum grade 4. Please open your English student book 4 unit number 3 page number 16. Many stories try to teach the reader a lesson. There are many stories that always give us a lesson. Do you think this is a good or a bad thing? In my opinion, I think this is a very good thing. We should always learn the lesson from something good. Now over here we will read about a traditional tale, and the name of this traditional tale is Why the World is Good and Bad. Over here we will know about some good things and some bad things about the world. Let's start reading. A long time ago, a blind man lived with his daughter. When she married, he happily gave the couple his house to live in while he went to sleep in a small hut. The daughter said her father was a good and a wise man, but her husband scoffed. What good is a man who can't see? He might as well be dead. Now, from this statement, we can see that the man we are talking about, the old man, could not see. This story is long about time ago. A blind man lived with his daughter. When her daughter got married to a person, the man gave their house to them, and then he went in a small hut to live himself. But what happened? The son-in-law of that old man was not a good man. He used to say bad things to his father about her father. Next paragraph is, one day the blind man asked his son-in-law, may I come hunting with you today? But the young man said, no, blind men can't hunt. His wife begged him to be kind to her father until the young man finally gave in and said yes. Now in this paragraph we can see the cruelty of that young man. The blind man wanted to go for hunting with that man, but he refused. He said no, blind man can't. He always used to call him blind again and again. His daughter used to feel very bad, and she used to beg his husband to be kind to her father. So finally what happened is that her husband said yes. The two men walked through the bush, and the young man set two traps, one for himself and one for the blind man. The following day they returned to inspect their traps. Halfway there the blind man hissed, watch out, there is a lion nearby. Now in this paragraph we are told that those two men, who are the two men? One is the old man and one is the young man whom his daughter got married. Now they both went on hunting, and what happened there? The two men went for hunting, and the young man set two traps for them, one for himself and one for the blind man. But what happened there is that on the halfway the blind man shouted. He said, watch out, there's a lion nearby. He wanted the young man to be careful of the lion. He could feel that there, although he was blind, but he could really feel that there's a lion nearby. How do you know? Whispered his son-in-law. Because I can see with my ears. The two men stood motionless as the lion crossed the track ahead of them. Then they continued to the traps. They had caught two birds, a small grey one in a young man's trap and an enormous many-colored one in the blind man's trap. Without a word, the young man gave the small grey bird to the blind man. Now what happened there? The young man was very surprised that how could the blind man see. He asked him that how could you see? How did you know there was a lion? The blind man told him that I can see with my ears. Means he can hear really nicely. He heard the lion coming and warned the young man. After the lion passed away, then what happened is that they continued with their traps. What did they catch? They caught a little bird in the young man's trap and many birds in the blind man's trap. What did the young man do? The young man switched their traps, gave the blind man with the bird one bird, and took the many birds trap to himself. As they were walking back to the village, the young man asked his father-in-law, why is there so much wickedness in the world? The blind man smiled sadly and said, because people like you take what does not belong to them. Now, what happened there is that when they were going back home, the young man asked his father in law, the old man, that why is there so much wickedness in this world? The old man, was very sad, and he said sadly that there is wickedness in this world because some people, like the young man, take what does not belong to them. And when he said that, he was very shocked that how come he knew. The young man said nothing, but he was ashamed. When they reached home, he told the other villagers he is a good hunter and a wise man, even though he is blind. Then he invited the blind man to have supper with him and his wife. After supper, he put his hand on the blind man's arm and said, "Tell me, Papa, why is there so much goodness in the world?" The blind man smiled happily and he answered, "Because people like you learn from their mistakes." What happened is, basically, the young man was very ashamed on the answer of the blind man. He felt very ashamed. Then when he went back to the village, he said really good words about the old man to the villagers. When he said good words about the old man, then everyone got happy and he felt happy himself. Then one day in an evening meal, the son-in-law of that blind man asked his father-in-law that how come there is so much goodness in the world. The blind man was very happy and he said happily that there are some people like you in this world who always learn from their mistakes. Now, overall, in this chapter, we are told about a man who is very good, that is the blind man, and a wicked man, who is the young man. The young man always used to say bad things about the blind man. Then one day, what happened is they go for hunting. Over there, something happened, like he cheated the blind man, and blind man found out. When he found out that he has cheated me, he wanted to teach him a lesson through his good words, and he taught him a lesson. When that young man learned a lesson, he felt very good and he turned into a good man. Nothing remains bad forever. So the lesson we get from here is that we should always learn from our mistakes. Good people are those who always learn from their mistakes and accept their mistakes. This is the vocabulary of your lesson, the meanings of the difficult words. Now let's come to question answers on page number 18. No, sorry, page number 17. What did the blind man do when his daughter got married? Now the answer to this question is on page number 16, paragraph 1, line number 3. From when she married, he happily gave the couple his house to live in while he went to sleep in a small hut. This is what the blind man do when his daughter got married. Question number 2a is, what did the young man think of the blind man? Now the answer to this question is page number 16, paragraph 1, line number 10. What good is a man who can't see? He might as well be dead. These are the words the young man thought of the blind man. In this way, you have to find rest of the answers and write those answers to these questions. Now let's come to page number 18, language direct speech. The word people say are written inside the speech marks. For example, the blind man hissed, "Watch out, there's a lion nearby." So, what is direct speech? Direct speech is something the people say directly, and that is always written in speech marks. There is another example. "How do you know?" whispered his son-in-law. Now, what did his son-in-law said? He said, "How do you know?" So, we have written this statement within the speech marks. Now, look at paragraph 3 of the story. Write out the words people said like this. For example, blind man said, "Watch out, there's a lion nearby." You have to write what a blind man has said and what the young man has said. Okay, you have to find different words that they used to say, they have said, and write them down. Now number 2 is, reread the first half of Rushing River on page number 6 and write out the words people say. You have to reread the first half of Rushing River on page number 6, and then you have to write out the words people say. There are many words in the Rushing River lesson that people have said, so you have to write them down. When spoken words come first, put a comma after the last word spoken inside the speech marks. He is a good hunter. Whenever we write something in the speech marks, we always have to put a comma in the end before closing the speech marks, right? When the spoken words come last, put a comma before the first speech marks. For example, the young man said. Now you can see two differences here. If the said words come first, then we have to put a comma in the end before closing the speech marks. And if the said words are coming at the end of the sentence, then we will put a comma before we put the speech marks. Okay? The speaker's first word begins with the capital letter. Punctuation marks go inside the speech marks. Now put the comma in the correct place in these sentences. As I have told you where the comma is supposed to be. So he said, comma, and then speech marks, you can come hunting. Right? In this way, you have to do the rest of the question on page number 18, question number 3. Let's come to page number 19, question number 4. Copy the sentences, add speech marks around the words people say. For example, be very quiet, she whispered. Over here, you can see that be very quiet is something that the person said. So we will put them within the speech marks and a comma before closing the speech marks. Then we would say she whispered. In this way, you have to do the rest of the questions. Now let's come to prepositions on page number 19. Prepositions tell where things are in relation to each other. They are usually followed by a noun. They walked through the bush. Some prepositions are made up of two or more words. For example, in front of, away from, out of, or next to. Now, what is a preposition? Basically, the definition of a preposition is a word or a phrase that connects a noun or a pronoun to a verb or adjective in a sentence. A preposition is something that connects a noun or pronoun to a verb or adjective. For example, you can see our example here. Preposition is the word with in the following. I am going with her. Now, I am going is a verb, right? And with her is a pronoun. Her is a pronoun, going is a verb. So, with is connecting these two words. So, these are prepositions. There are some examples of prepositions. For example, in front of, away from, out of, or next to. You have to complete these sentences using a preposition from the box. Now over here in the box, you are given some different prepositions. For example, over, along, behind, into, out of, or in front of. These are some of the prepositions you are given. There is an example, we ran. Now what is ran? We is a pronoun, ran is a verb, and along is a preposition. We ran along the sea. The sea is a noun. So, this along preposition is joining the verb and the sea, the noun, right? So, you have to do these sentences in the same way. Now, let's come to word study on page number 20. We can make new words by adding suffixes to the ends of words. What is this? Over here, we can make new words by adding suffixes. For example, we can add some words at the end of a word and it would become a suffix. And then we would create new words through this. By adding a suffix to the end of a word, we can change the word. For example, good is an adjective. So if we add ness in front of the word, then it would be goodness, and this adjective would be turned into noun. Another example is motion. Now motion is a noun. If we add less to motion, then motionless is adjective. So we often change nouns to adjective and adjective to nouns after adding suffixes in the end of the word. Remember, when you add a suffix, y changes to I. For example, lazy. Whenever there is a word that is ending with y, we would always remove that y and change it into I, and then add the suffix in the end. And for example, lazy, it is ending with y, we would remove y and add I in the end and would write laziness. Now change these adjectives to nouns by adding ness. For example, happy would be changed into happiness. There are some words given to you on page number 20, question number 1. Over here you have to change these words into nouns, right? These are adjectives and you have to change them into nouns by adding a suffix. And what is that suffix? That is ness, N-E-S-S. Change these nouns to adjectives by adding a suffix from the box. Now here are given some nouns, that is nation. You have to choose a word from this box. For example, AL, and then it would be national. Second word is care. We can choose full, it would be careful. We can also choose less, it would be careless. In this you have to choose different suffixes and change these nouns to adjectives. Let's come to the writing part. Write a dialogue between the blind man and his daughter. Discuss with the partner, what do you think the blind man told his daughter about hunting trip? Remember to punctuate what they say correctly. Use a new line for each speaker. You have to write a dialogue. Basically, in this dialogue, you have to show what did the blind man and her daughter said. Now, when you will write the sentence, you will write it in the punctuation marks. The word which would be said would be written in the punctuation marks. You have to remember this. You don't have to forget the punctuation marks and write a dialogue. Your today's homework is to page number 17, question number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 8 on your notebooks. You don't have to do question number 6 and 7. Do page number 18, language part 1, 2 and 3 on books. Do page number 19, question 4 and 5 on books. Do page 19, prepositions, question 2 on book. Do page 20, word study, question 1 and 3 on notebook and question 2 and 4 on your notebooks. I'm sorry students, there is a mistake. You have to do page number 20, word study, question 1 and 3 on your books and question number 2 and 4 on your notebooks. Please note this mistake. I apologize, and remember to do question number 1 and 3 on your books and question number 2 and 4 on your notebooks. Do page number 20, writing part on your notebooks. That's all for today. Thank you.